Hi everybody, I'm Rocco Steele and this is RoccoTALK. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm very excited because we have a guest today on RoccoTALK. Today's guest is Ryan Shea. Ryan is a lifestyle and entertainment writer who has previously worked for Instinct Magazine, US Weekly, and many other large-scale digital publications. Ryan also happens to be a very good friend of mine. Everybody, help me welcome Ryan Shea. Well, hello there. How are you?
I am great, my friend. How are you? How are you holding up?
Good. I'm good. Thank you for being a part of RoccoTALK. You're the very first guest ever, so you're the canary in the coal mine. We've been hearing a lot about that lately. So you're my canary in a coal mine.
That is I've never heard that before, but I'll take
Really?
it. Yeah, no, never.
These programs are talking about like whoever's doing something first is the canary in the coal mine, like with this whole pandemic thing. So yeah, so you're my little canary.
Aww.
So how are you doing?
Oh, on lockdown. The beard's really, getting in, but I'm looking at this as a positive and that I still have a job. I know a lot of people who are out of work right now, and my heart really just goes out to so many people right now who are affected by this. But I'm also really loving how you and many other people are getting really creative with doing stuff like this and keeping people interested and keeping our minds off of what's going on in the world. So really, I'm trying to look at the positives that a lot of this has created in hopes that this will all be a thing in the past in the next couple of months, and we can all go back to our reality. Sorry, I'm like moving around a little bit.
Yeah, same. I agree. But you've also been busy. I've already mentioned you're a writer, and very recently you've written an article that a lot of people around the world are going to be interested in, especially gay men. And
yes.
It's for Hollywood Life magazine, and the title of the article is "Sex and the City: The Ladies' Boyfriends and Husbands Ranked from Worst to Best." So, give me a little kind of broad overview of the article, what inspired it.
So obviously Sex and the City went off the air, 16 years ago, but we still talk about it as if it's still on today, and I think it's a testament to how great the show was. There's been a renewed interest in the show because the four women appeared on a podcast, I think a couple of weeks ago, just to thank this ER doctor in New York City who's doing a lot for the coronavirus thing.
Oh.
The fact that they reunited, even though it was via audio, it was not in person, they all just called in, I think really just renewed the interest. So I came up with an idea of why don't we do something like a listicle, a top 10 about something related to Sex in the City. And something that I was always very fascinated by on the show was the amount of men that they all dated and had sex with, but then there were key men for each of the women that really had an impact on their character's development over the 6.5 seasons. And really, some of them were fantastic. Some of them we still love to this day for our own reasons, and some we love to hate. But they definitely were a big part of the show.
No, it's true. And we all love to rank. We all love a survey. So I think it's not only renews interest in this show and gives everybody another option for something else to watch during this time. It also gives people an opportunity to kind of have a little extra activity around it in terms of ranking their favorites. So rather than going through the whole thing, because I want people to read the article, obviously, let's just start with a couple of the worst. So
you watch the show, right? I mean, so you understand all this, right? Okay, good.
I never watched it in real time. I don't know why. Well, number one, I didn't have HBO back then, but I watched it a few years later. I had moved away from New York City. Back in like 2005, I moved to Miami for my job at the time. And I was really missing New York and at the same time kind of bored and passing the time. And so I started watching it. And it really like made me miss New York even more, and I just like became obsessed with the show. And back then, like you bought the DVDs, so
Yes.
I own the DVDs.
They're somewhere. I have them in storage somewhere, I think.
Some storage unit in New Jersey. Yeah. So okay, so let's start with your worst.
Sure.
I the funny thing is I pretty much agree all the way down the list, except for the top two.
Would you switch them?
I would just switch them. But let's
Okay.
talk about the worst. Like you listed number 10 as Samantha and Richard, and I couldn't agree more. Although I think I also could not stand Alexander Petrovsky either. So I would almost, he's very close to 10 as well. But Richard,
he was at the bottom too. I think I put him at number 9 or 8.
Yeah. Well, no, Jack Berger was number 9. Who, I think the three of them are definitely 8, 9, and 10 in my book as well.
She even said she was on Watch What Happens Live one night, and I think when Andy asked her who the worst boyfriend was, she did say it was Berger. Yeah. I don't think Ron Livingston is such a great actor, and he's adorable, of course. But like, I mean, as someone who is a writer who kind of understands that lifestyle, I would not want to be in a relationship with another writer because you have two egomaniacs that are going. It's just going to implode. And the fact that she was thriving and unintentionally making him feel like crap by buying him a $500 Prada shirt and then like shoving a $25,000 check that she got for her advance for her book while he can barely afford, lunch at a diner. You knew that it was going to suck. And the fact that he broke up with her on a Post-it note is kind of hilarious. But no, they just weren't a good fit.
I think he embodied like the classic New York neurosis.
Sure.
And not in a good way. Sometimes it's charming and sometimes it's just annoying. And with him, it was just always annoying for me.
It was annoying. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Richard is the worst. I mean, there was nothing redeeming about him. For a split second, you really did believe that he was faithful. If you remember that episode when they were in Atlantic City, she couldn't take it anymore. She kept seeing all these gorgeous women surrounding him. And when she finally decided to end it, even though he kept saying, I'm not cheating on you, we're good, her intentions were right, because as she left, she saw the slutty hotel maid walk in, and that was that. And he was a great actor too. James Remar, I think, played Richard. He was great at just being the Samantha's version of Big. That's what I called it. Yeah. Because he really was the same type of big hotelier who had a lot of women. But Big was way more redeemable than Richard ever was.
Yeah. I love that Dr. Robert, Miranda and Dr. Robert made the list because, well, we'll talk about this in a little bit because we're going to end this by talking about our favorite characters. But sure. I love Dr. Robert because I just thought he was so freaking sexy, and she needed.
I mean, Blair Underwood, Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
I mean, what a hottie.
So steamy. And then obviously Smith, also hot as fuck. So, but let's go to the top two. So your number 2 was Miranda and Steve.
Sure.
Loved. I love Miranda, so I'm giving it away. I love Miranda, and I also love Steve. And I think for me, they would have made it to number 1, but that's just my personal choice, and here's why. I felt that relationship really had more soul, and for me, it was evidenced by one scene that it really brought me to tears, and it was the scene where Miranda was bathing his mother in the bathtub who had dementia. And it was such a touching moment for me. And it was just like, wow, this relationship really like has something. There's some substance to this relationship. So I don't know. That's why people would argue the same about your number 1, Charlotte and Harry. Like the fact that she allowed him to sit butt naked on her white sofa, like that is evidence of substance in a relationship. But the part about Steve's mom and the storyline about her having dementia and all of that and that progression just really touched me. So anyway, now you can comment on it.
Well, I mean, in the same respect, that finale show ended with Charlotte and Harry adopting their baby from China, and that was also a very emotional scene. And the thing that I love about Evan Handler, who played Harry, and David Eigenberg, who played Steve, is that they were so unconventionally sexy. They were not the typical Brad Pitt, George Clooney types, but I would sleep with both of them, quite frankly. Quite honestly, if I were to redo that article, I actually would put number 1 and 2 at a tie, because
Yeah.
I think that they were really, and mind you, I put a disclaimer in the article that I did not include anything from the movies, because Steve would have maybe actually been placed at a lower ranking because he did cheat on her in the first movie.
Right. Okay, so now for the big question: what character would you be? What character do you most identify with?
That answer's kind of changed as the years have gone by. I can honestly say that, oh, Carrie, obviously.
Harry. Okay.
I mean, I call myself Barry for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
I've been living in the city now for 4 years, and I'm on this constant roller coaster of trying to find the one, but with also the understanding that he may not exist. So let's just have fun along the way. And I feel like Carrie kind of did that as the show went by.
Yeah.
So then again, if I can sleep with guys that look like Chris Noth and what's his name, who played Aiden, that's not a problem.
Yeah. All right. Fair. All right.
And
So
you?
for me, people would assume I'm going to say Samantha, but I think I identify most with Miranda. Like I said earlier, I love Miranda. I just felt like she had a lot of soul. I love that we both, she was an attorney. I am an attorney by education. I went to law school. So I can identify that way. I like that she lived in Brooklyn and not in Manhattan. Even though I lived in Manhattan most of my life, I did move to Brooklyn once. So I love that about her. I love that she gave up the whole Manhattan, prestige thing and moved to Brooklyn, with Steve. So that was really admirable for me. I don't know. I just thought she had a lot of depth. Like she experimented with a woman, and of course Samantha did too. But I just overall.
That's right. She did experiment with a woman. I forgot about that, which is
it was like a whole
foreshadowing for real life, you know?
Yeah, she wanted to be an attorney or a partner at the law firm. So she took that woman to the dinner party or something like that and made out with her in the elevator or something like that. But anyway, that's who I most identify with if I had to pick a character. So
she's the cynical best friend that we all need. We all have that one friend that we just need to go to vent about life. And I always found that of the 3 women, she was the strongest for Carrie, and I think they had the tightest bond of the 3. And I really like that as the show. And yeah, I would I would agree with you, which is funny because then I'm Carrie and then you're Miranda, so you'll be my. But you have kind of been my Miranda over the years, so that's a good thing because we just like to complain about everything. So
very sweet. All right, well, thank you so much, everybody. Go check out Ryan's writing skills. Go to Hollywood Life magazine. Check out his article, "Sex in the City: The Ladies' Boyfriends and Husbands Ranked from Worst to Best." Where can they find this specifically?
HollywoodLife.com.
HollywoodLife.com. All right. Thank you so much. It's been great having you on the show.
Of course.
And, please take care of yourself, and we'll talk soon.
Yes.
Big kiss.